Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Born in 50 AD, Epictetus was born into slavery and served a wealthy master, Epictetus, who was a secretary to the Roman Emperor Nero at the time. Epictetus had the unusual privilege of being allowed by his master to study philosophy, a privilege he made the most of. He quickly embraced Stoicism, and what he retained was the practicality of Stoicism and how it could truly help people reduce suffering. He not only pointed out that fear is self-created, but also guided us on how to master our emotions and thoughts to live a strong and free life. The principles he shared not only changed our perception of fear, but also opened the door for us to live fully, no longer limited by constant worries. Let's explore the 5 ways that Epictetus showed us to overcome fear and walk more confidently on our own journey. 1. Embrace the challenges in life. Epictetus once said, "We should not fear poverty, exile, or imprisonment. Only fear itself is what we should fear." According to Epictetus's philosophy, it is crucial to focus only on what is within our control and not tie our emotions to external events. We cannot control everything that happens, and these events will occur whether we want them to or not. Stoic philosophy emphasizes a clear distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. Fear often arises from worrying about things beyond our control. For example, in Epictetus's life, he was exiled from Rome by Emperor Domitian because he was a Stoic philosopher. However, instead of reacting with anger or sadness, Epictetus accepted the situation. He moved to another city and continued to teach Stoic philosophy, even becoming more confident in the principles he taught. This is a clear example of how we cannot control external events, but we can control how we react to them. In life, things don't always go as we expect. For instance, you may have spent a lot of time and effort preparing for an important presentation, but when the time comes, you notice no one is paying attention, or someone criticizes you. This may make you feel disappointed, but if you view it from Epictetus's perspective, you'll realize that the outcome was not in your control. What you could control was your preparation, attitude, and how you learned from the failure. Epictetus teaches that, instead of fearing and worrying about situations beyond our control, we should learn to accept them. The Stoic principle of amor fati, love of fate, is about embracing and accepting everything in life, both the good and the bad. This does not mean we shouldn't try to change what we can, but rather learning to face what we cannot change and finding ways to live positively, regardless of the outcome. For example, you may have spent many years preparing for a startup project, believing it to be your big opportunity. However, after the launch, the results are not what you expected, and the project fails. You gave your best effort, but the outcome was not in your control. Instead of viewing yourself as a failure, you can learn from your mistakes and prepare better for next time. Many successful people in their careers have experienced numerous failures before achieving what they wanted. What matters is perseverance and the spirit of overcoming challenges. Thus, instead of fearing what we cannot control, Epictetus advises us to embrace life, learn from every challenge, and see it as an opportunity for personal growth. 2. Believe in the ability to achieve miracles. Epictetus taught, a mediocre life is often marked by the fear of lack of ability when trying something new. Born into slavery, Epictetus had nothing but poverty and oppression. However, it was through his belief in his own abilities and his desire to learn that he overcame all the limitations of his circumstances and became one of the greatest philosophers of all time. His master allowed him to study philosophy, but no one could have predicted that a slave would become a master of that very philosophy. Epictetus's motivation was not to become the greatest, but to bring value and pursue knowledge, even though he was just a slave in a society full of discrimination. He proved that if you believe in your abilities and persist in following your dreams, you can change your life and create a significant impact. Epictetus is a living testament to the power of determination and self-confidence. Life is a series of challenges. An easy example to illustrate this is in the workplace. Imagine you've just started a new job where you must learn and adapt to a completely new environment. The first days are filled with difficulties, from understanding the job to communicating with colleagues. If you lack confidence in your abilities, you may quickly feel overwhelmed and want to give up. However, if you persevere, you will gradually feel more confident and ultimately succeed. Life is full of challenges, but we must learn to view them positively. For example, you may have prepared for an important exam, believing it to be your opportunity to change your future. Despite your great efforts, the result may not meet your expectations, and you may feel like a failure. But in moments like this, you can learn valuable lessons and realize that failure is not the end, but part of the learning and growing process. Similarly, in work or any goal, you may face failures and challenges that seem impossible to overcome. However, remember that these difficulties are not the end, but an opportunity for you to experiment, learn, and grow. For example, an entrepreneur may face many failures in projects before finding the formula for success. What matters is not giving up and always believing that perseverance and trust in your own abilities will lead you to success. Greatness does not come from avoiding challenges, but from the ability to face and overcome them. Always remember that we never know when our efforts will be rewarded. What is important is that you persist, trust in your own abilities, and never give up. 3. Understand fear. Epictetus once said, "Philosophy is the tool that helps us answer the questions in our souls, clarifies our fears and sorrows, and frees ourselves." When Epictetus became a teacher, he emphasized the importance of understanding fear in life. He believed that by analyzing and examining each fear, we would realize that many of them have no solid foundation. Fear does not always stem from the nature of the situation, but often from worrying about how others perceive us. For example, when fearing failure in a project, we worry not only about the outcome, but also about how others will judge us. Epictetus pointed out that many of the fears we think are necessary are actually just trivial desires. A person might fear missing out on an important party because they fear being ignored or not recognized. However, he taught that we should distinguish between essential needs and mere wants. If something is not essential, we should not fear or become attached to it. Epictetus encouraged confronting the nature of fear head-on in order to eliminate irrational fears. In modern society, we face many illogical fears. We live in a society that places too much emphasis on ownership and consumption, leading many people to believe that all material possessions are essential for life. These fears create unreasonable anxiety and pressure. For example, some people worry about not being able to live without a new phone. While phones help us stay connected and are more convenient, they are just tools. And the truth is that we can live without frequently upgrading our phones. While there are reasonable fears, such as concerns about health or safety, these fears do not change over time. This helps us realize that not all fears are rational. Therefore, we need to clearly differentiate between reasonable fears and irrational ones. Epictetus encourages us to study philosophy to understand life and ourselves better. Philosophy helps us distinguish what is important from what is not worth worrying about, thereby strengthening our inner power. Studying philosophy helps clarify our fears and teaches us how to confront them. Finally, remember that if fear is an ocean, you are the person who can escape it, not the fish swimming endlessly in it. 4. Eliminate the fear of death. Epictetus once said, "We cannot avoid death, but we can control our fear of it." Epictetus was not only a slave, but also had to face serious illness. He learned to confront and accept death as an inseparable part of life. Death is always present, and what matters is how we react to it. Rather than avoiding it, Epictetus advised us to live with the awareness that death is inevitable. To eliminate the fear of death, Epictetus taught us to face it directly. When we view death as a natural part of life, it no longer seems frightening. Thinking about death every day will reduce anxiety and stress caused by the uncertainty surrounding it. In Stoic philosophy, death is not something to fear, but a reminder of the brevity of life. Memento mori, remember that you will die, is a reminder to live fully and not delay important matters. Each morning, ask yourself, if today were my last day, what would I do? This question helps you live fully and makes every action more meaningful. When we are no longer afraid of death, we can enjoy life and thrive. Let death become a motivator instead of an obstacle. Fearing death only causes us to miss opportunities, fail to grow, and not live fully. 5. Don't fear the judgment of others. Epictetus once said, If you seek approval from others, realize that you have harmed your own integrity. If you need to prove something, be yourself. In Epictetus's time, sophists were skilled in debate, but their goal was not to seek new knowledge. Instead, they showcased their understanding to gain praise from others. They engaged in debates to prove themselves superior, not to learn more. In contrast, a Stoic philosopher like Epictetus sought knowledge not for external recognition, but for personal growth and self-awareness. This is the message Epictetus wanted us to understand. If we care too much about the approval of others, we lose ourselves. When we live to please others, we become limited by fear of how they perceive us, which prevents us from exploring new opportunities and even halts our personal growth. Epictetus advises us that instead of living based on the judgment of others, we should focus on our own development and do what feels right to us. If we choose the safe, unchanging, and risk-free path, we become like a stone lying still, with no change or growth. However, the difference between us and a stone is that we have the ability to step out of our comfort zone, experience new challenges, and grow. We cannot control the judgments of others, nor should we let them affect our lives. Criticism, praise, or judgment from others are beyond our control. Instead of fearing them, we should focus on what we can control: our actions and our attitudes. Remember, external judgment cannot diminish your value if you are confident in yourself and what you do. Consider someone who decides to pursue their passion for art, even knowing that not everyone understands or supports their decision. If they lived just to please those who disagree, they would never have the chance to develop their talent. In contrast, when they dare to follow the path they believe in, ignoring negative judgments, they will find passion and fulfillment in doing what they love. So don't fear being different. Don't fear being judged. Do what you feel is right, pursue what you believe in, and push the boundaries. Only then can you truly grow and achieve amazing things in life. Fear will no longer be a barrier when you understand that what you can control will guide your life toward freedom and meaning. The principles of Epictetus are not just theory, but powerful tools to help you face challenges, overcome difficulties, and find strength within yourself. The path to psychological and spiritual freedom begins with the decisions you make today. To not miss future videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share with friends, and turn on notifications. Thank you for watching, and I wish you strength on your journey of personal growth.